Good morning. Derek here with Wednesday Morning Check-In. Just wanted to take a second and see how you guys did last week with thinking the right things and doing the right things. Did you struggle with pride or envy or arrogance at any point last week? Did your emotions override proper thinking and speak out of turn and with emotion? Our feelings override many rational thought processes throughout the day and even throughout our week and lives. So, if we're honest with ourselves, we can say, yes, I struggled in those areas. I struggled in those areas. You'd say, Derek, that's just the way I am. And I would say, you are correct. And the reason why I know you're correct is because the gospel tells us that we are sinful creatures. And I would even say that our biggest problem in this life is our sin. But we are going to be talking about that as the weeks go on here. But this morning, I wanted to ask us another question. And it may be a question that no one's ever asked you. And that question is, what are you? What are you? Well, the gospel clearly states what we are. And before I read what the gospel says in Genesis 1:27, I wanted to tell us a few things that you're not going to hear. You're not going to hear that we don't know how we were created. You're not going to hear that two stars chaotically came together and randomness happened and man was formed from that randomness. You're going to hear the exact explanation of how we came about, which is great for us because with this explanation, we don't have to wonder. So, if we choose to believe something other than the gospel, then we are choosing to believe the God of chaos, because there is no explanation outside of God and his gospel. And even that explanation that we would try to come up with would be untrue, because only the Creator can explain how things were created. Does that make sense? I hope so. Let's read Genesis 1:27. God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him, male and female, he created them. So in that short little verse, 3 times he stated, God created man. God created man. God created man. He said that 3 times. We are created. We do not have to wonder how randomness or chaoticness, something had to happen where we were just got here and hope that that's true. No, we have a clear stated explanation of how we got here. God created us. So we have a choice this morning as I say these things. For the believer, you believe in an infinite, personal, caring God that created you. And that gives us hope and peace and assurance as we believe those things in a loving God and our Creator. The opposite is also true. If we don't believe that, then we are grasping at straws. We are believing that somehow in the chaos, something happened somewhere and we got here. And that is devoid of hope, and that is devoid of assurance. So I'm hoping this morning that, Christian, you have been reminded that you are created by a loving Father with a purpose. We know that purpose is to glorify him. And unbeliever, if you are struggling with how this all started and where you came from, you have an explanation here this morning in Genesis 1:27. I would encourage you to go and read Genesis. We will see you again next Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. And remember, what are you? You're God's creation, made in His image. Blessings.